This year, the FAA has mandated that airports must develop and maintain a formal safety management system and program. And Esri has developed a series of tools to meet that mandate. I'm going to show you some technology that helps the airport manage safety. Now, because safety is so much about where and location, it makes sense that you should use GIS as the centerpiece for your safety management system. The FAA says that you must have, as components of your SMS, a risk management program, ways to assure that your airport is safe and promote it, and then a policy. And these components of this SMS deliverable contain those things. Of course, having a policy as a front face to your safety management system is important and does help meet that need that the FAA expects you to have a formal program. As a safety manager, you want to be able to promote a culture of safety in this web page, and these tools help do that. At the core of this is the ability for your employees to quickly report on issues using these secure, anonymous forms. So as an employee, if I see an issue, I want to be able to quickly be able to report on those things so that those reports are logged in a database and that safety managers would be able to take action on them to help mitigate and then reduce safety risks at the airport. Let's have a look now at the risk management component of SMS. Of course, the components of risk management include being able to identify and then report on hazards, and to conduct system analyses, and then assess and then manage risks associated with those hazards that have been reported and identified. And at the core of that is a set of applications or surveys that your employees can use to report on safety issues, vehicle damage, work-related injuries, and any other type of issue. And again, these are configurations that are easy for the airport to set up. They come out of the box and included with SMS. So an employee, whether they want to do that anonymously or with their name, could quickly go in, hit the QR code, and then fill out this form, including the location where the issue was identified. Pick those things, put them on the map, and then be able to quickly capture information about these safety reports. These forms are easy to configure and really come out of the box. So there's very little effort involved in deploying these set of tools. There's no software required either. It's all web-based. Work-related injuries is another form that comes shrink wrapped with the SMS deliverable. And of course, it has the location at its center because so much of what is about safety is about where. I could easily configure these forms to meet my needs and then embed them and share them with my employees. So the environment of safety includes analysis, and you want to be able to analyze the human element, the machine, the mission, and be able to best manage that. And as a safety manager, I want to be able to visualize and understand these safety issues that have been reported. This application or dashboard gives me that freedom. I can see the location of existing reports that have been classified based on their severity and likelihood. So those that are most severe in red, and the larger those points are, the more likely they are to occur. I can use this dashboard to filter through and then identify individual reports. And then if I wanted details about specific reports, all I do is click on that list and then see details, including an image if the person reporting it recorded that. Looks like a fuel spill occurred here on the ramp. It's happened before, and safety managers already have classified that as being severe and likely to occur. Interactive and simple to use. Being able to go through the likelihood, then I could see those that are either remote or likely to occur on this dashboard. Are very simple to configure and then share securely. Again, what this does is it helps meet the FAA requirements that you classify these risks based on their severity and their likelihood. So the person reporting these things doesn't do that. You as a safety manager would use an application like this to be able to then review existing reports and then classify those things based on their severity and likelihood. So the minute a report is submitted, the safety manager would get a push notification, whether it's a text or an email, and then I could open this app as that safety manager and review the existing reports and see any or all the details that the individual reported these issues included in their survey. It also gives me the ability then to classify reports that have yet to be ranked. So I'm going to go through that process now. So you can see this blue report is one that has yet to be ranked based on its severity or likelihood. So I'm going to look at the details of the individual report. And there was a construction barrier not lit across the taxiway. So based on the fact that I know it's happened before, I could quickly go in and edit this report and modify any of the fields if anything was missing or if it was improperly classified. So right now I believe that based on the fact that it's happened before, it could be major in its severity, and it seems to be happening routinely. So this application does give me the ability to interact with my data. Now, being able to assess risks includes identifying those risks, reviewing them, and then being able to classify them like we've seen a second ago, and then take mitigation actions. Now, each airport, the process that you go through is different, but overall, it falls into this sort of a workflow. Stakeholders have a dashboard like you saw. Airport employees can use a form accessed through a QR code to quickly report on issues and identify hazards and submit those anonymously or with their name. Now that information goes into a secure database. It's also associated with a map, and again, you own all this information. And then using webhooks, safety teams are to be notified of these issues and then conduct reviews and take any mitigation action necessary, including conducting maintenance, generating work orders, and then tying to work order management systems. And all that ties back in to the dashboard. So remember, you can share these reports with QR codes so that individuals can quickly and easily report on these issues. We've got a series of tools that's part of Workflow Manager that help you automate the steps in mitigation, or the processes from identifying all the way through mitigating or reducing these safety issues. And this workflow can be custom built based on your specific airport needs. So there might be some decisions that go on during mitigation review, some action that needs to be taken. Again, all these can be automated and configured inside this tool called Workflow Manager. Here's the product page for Workflow Manager. So what you would be able to do would be to, number one, understand the processes and the steps involved, and then using the Workflow Manager tools, build out an automated set of steps that give you the ability then to track and manage those auditing and mitigation efforts. Let's take a look at a tool to allow maintenance personnel to manage the work that's required if maintenance is necessary to address these safety issues. I'm a safety manager, or maybe I'm a work manager of people out in the field. I'm going to use this application to then identify these issues that have been reported, like this fuel that had been leaking out of this wing. And I'm going to create a work assignment so that I can get this cleaned up quickly. So I'm going to go through the process of selecting the individual group who needs to conduct this mitigation effort. I think it's part of the firefighting and rescue operations. I'm going to assign that to an individual on that team who's working right now. I can see where they're located and see what individual work they already have assigned to them. I'll pick a priority and then select a date and time when I would like that work completed by. So we'll do that by tomorrow. Then I'll enter in the work ID. Now, if this is an asset, I could put in the asset ID, but in this case it's not, so I'll just put in a description of what needs to happen. So this fuel spill on this date needs to be cleaned up. And then dictate what is necessary. So I want to have them place booms around the fuel, and then bring a spill kit out and clean up the JB4 that's likely still on the ramp. So I'll create this assignment. Now what I've done is assign it to an individual, and because my field crews have an application on their mobile devices, as a field worker, I've just received a push notification, and it shows me a list of the things that need to be done. And there's that one issue that I need to take action on to bring that spill kit out and then clean up that fuel. So I could use the app to navigate to that location if I wasn't clear on where it was. And I'll go ahead and begin my work to then clean up that fuel spill. So I just click the start button, and that sends a push notification to the maintenance personnel indicating that I'm actually working on this right now. And I can voice dictate this, saying that work is in progress. And once the work is finished, I would just click the finish button, and they even potentially link to a survey like this, which would be a fuel inspection report that I could have the tenant fill out, or I would fill out, indicating why that spill occurred and what mitigation efforts were necessary in order to prevent that from happening again. So now the maintenance manager could then see that that work has been completed. They received a push notification either through an email or a text message saying that that work's done now and that mitigation effort has been completed. This dashboard shows the location of all the hazard incidents and accidents that have been reported. And as a safety manager, I could easily go into this secure web page and then filter based on geographic area or operation type to identify issues that have already been reported and mitigation efforts that have taken place. I could look at individual reports and details about the work efforts associated with those issues. This interactive and configurable dashboard is secure and gives me as a manager access to information about safety or damages that have occurred throughout time so that I could start to see trends and then take action. I think you saw earlier a heat map that shows the clustering or density of issues. This is an issue where an aircraft was struck by a ground service vehicle, something you don't want to have happen. So again, interactive, secure, easy to configure. This tool also gives me the ability to then interrogate on reports and then helps make better sense or gain insights into safety issues that have been reported through time. So I can see things by severity or likelihood, and the larger those balloons, the more of those type there were. Even identifying the weather associated with safety issues, because weather could be a factor, is part of these tools. Now, the safety assurance component includes the ability to collect, analyze, and then assess safety issues. So I've been able to configure reports that allow me to identify fire extinguishers that need inspections or repairs. If I want to dig, I could submit a request to dig so that I don't hit buried cables. Or just report safety observations. So maybe I'm a safety manager and I want to go out to these different areas at the airport and then conduct routine safety inspections. Using my GPS, I can quickly identify where these issues are or where these inspections are occurring, and then just do my routine assessments of these issues that I think are critical to me. These forms are quick to configure, secure, and easy to use through the web on my mobile device or on a tablet. You can see how intuitive and quick it is to collect that data and then securely stored in a database that can be accessed for auditing after the fact as well. Now, the safety promotion is a critical component of your safety management system, so you want to be able to establish communications and make sure that you prioritize safety by putting training inside your safety management system. I could look at metrics that help employees see how we're doing in terms of safety performance. And the safety promotion tools also include things like a training calendar. So if I'm an employee, I could use this to see what is some training that's upcoming and hyperlink to that training by clicking on it. I'd even want to show individuals who have been really good at promoting safety. There's also the ability for me to embed videos into this webpage so that employees can take routine training that's required and then receive certifications on that training for auditing purposes as well. The FAA puts out many of these SMS videos, which you can quickly embed into this hub site, which makes it really intuitive and easy for your employees to then have a sole source for gaining access to your training. Other safety components can be included here, and don't forget we've got these forms that are quick and easy to access. Your tenants would be able to use a form like this to go out and do your daily fueling inspections. It doesn't necessarily have a map associated with it because many of those assets are movable, but a tenant would go out and then use this to do their daily inspections, so like I'm doing here. So for auditing purposes, you need to be able to prove to the FAA that these programs are live and ongoing, and this set of tools gives